Alright, ladies, before we start, I want to let you guys know right now, this video is not here to flame Hyris, to flame Blizzard, Overwatch, Paladins. It's not to flame anyone. This video is directed to all those people who decided to go on my video of where I talk about the skin being copied by Fortnite, the Wraith Mave more precisely, right? This video is for those people who got there and said, "Oh, talks the guy who plays a clone of Overwatch." Well, guess what, boy? Today I'm going to show you who is the real clone. And not to mention that if we go for deeper and deeper into the zone story, both Paladins and Overwatch are copies. It doesn't matter if it's from one another or if it's from anything else. The first game of this genre was never even Paladins or Overwatch, alright? But the question is between these two, because I'm not joking. I got a shit ton of comments like that back on that video. I'm not joking. I am not joking. I'm serious. Right? And it just wows me. You know what I mean? Like, so many people who don't know what they're talking about, yet they go in the video and start flaming. They don't even bother to do some research like I did. Right? I even found videos of older YouTubers like 2 years ago because of the drama that apparently was out there because of the media accusing Paladins when it showed up that they were just trying to copy Overwatch. Yeah, sure, the game Overwatch just came out like 1 month before. They open up the closed alpha of Paladins like a few months later, and guess what? Hyris just copied a full game in less than 1 or 2 months. Congratulations, you're very fucking smart. But that's not even the issue here. All right, the issue is the origin of Paladins in order to take away the allegations, right? So where did I find this? This is on Reddit. This was made by Todd, Hyris Todd. This is the co-founder of Hyris Studios, all right? He is one of the top dogs of Hyris. And this is not just pure text. There's more to it. There's even videos proving the similarities of what I'm trying to talk about. Right? So before you start saying, "Oh, come on, anyone can say anything," see the video until the end, all right? I'm going to show you the evidence as well, and we're just going chronologically, talk about what happened until both games were released, all right? Chill the fuck up. So, let's start off with the following. Global Agenda, a class-based shooter MMO game, was started in 2005. 2005, back at Studios' first project, so it was supposed to be Hyris Studios, right? So Global Agenda, for those who don't know what it was apparently a good game, but unfortunately they had to kill it because I don't think they couldn't, they just couldn't maintain it. And they actually talk about that just a few seconds later here. The Global Agenda design was inspired by Tribes. Ever heard of that game? I didn't. But I know that it's a game with jetpacks and weapons. I remember that. And here it is, jetpacks and weapons, exactly. And also City of Heroes, cool abilities, instanced PvE missions, and Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2 is sort of like the one that deserves a little bit more credit when it comes to this genre. But even so, let's continue, right? Classes, instanced PvP, weapon types. Pretty cool. The initial idea was how to make a City of Heroes type MMO game with real shooting. So pretty much they wanted to grab all they could and create this one big massive game, right? And they were being inspired by 3 different games at least. They could even have other inspirations, but let's just go on ahead. Global Agenda was released then in 2010, and we learned many lessons from it. Like, for example, too much for one game. That's pretty much what it says after. It had too many features and game modes for us to be able to maintain enough depth into each one of them. 5 different PvP modes: AVA, solo, co-op PvE, raids, double agent, open world missions, as well as complex as MMO features like crafting, auction system, AVA world map, and much more. So all of the things that we just heard, it's like too much for one game. A game is good when it's simple, but yet you can play it in many different ways, right? Like Paladins is right now. It's simple, not very simple because they're still polishing it, of course, but going into the game and it's like just that. It's like 3 modes, that's it. Play the game, that's it. 5v5, that's the only thing you need to worry about. Then you have other ways like cars, legendaries, and so on. Something, for example, Overwatch doesn't even have. So when it's too much, it becomes like it becomes like it's just a big mess. Then it's really hard to maintain and it's really hard to balance and so on. This is exactly what happened to Global Agenda. Now, Global Agenda was no longer generating much revenue. They're saying that even after releasing an expansion, doesn't matter. So we started looking at alternative games we could create. I gotta be honest, instead of trying to fix the game that you have, why thinking of killing the one that you have and create another one? Now, it's not that I'm mad about Paladins being here, because I like Paladins, I like the lore, I like everything, okay, sure. But what the fuck? Why do you decide just to kill a game because it's not bringing in revenue? Is it because the release? Is it the release gives it a little bit more glamour? Oh wait, it's a new game, therefore it has to be good. I don't know how did these devs actually think about this, to be honest. But even so, let's continue. One group began working on a new Tribes game, which became Tribes Ascend, while another group started working on a third-person MOBA game, which became Smite. So, Smite, if you guys don't know what Smite is, it's almost like a League of Legends. It has a little different positions of cameras, and it's based around gods, pretty much. It's actually pretty cool as well. I never actually got to play it. I did play League of Legends, and I liked it. But somehow I prefer the way that we move around on Smite, the camera way and so on, a lot more than in League of Legends. But that's just a preference, doesn't really mean anything. Now let's continue. In 2012, we started another project named Aurum, IUU, whatever. It was a fantasy-based global agenda PvP-like game and the first inspiration for Paladins. You can see from the video link below how the style is cartoony fantasy. It should be around here, but we'll show that after. Now, just a little heads up, back on 2012, it was also the year I believe they made global agenda free to play. I'm not entirely sure. This is something I read on the internet as well. Not sure if it's actually 100% accurate. Anyway, so let's continue. And Paladins, codename Chaos, pre-production, we experimented with both the Global Agenda sci-fi theme and the Aurum fantasy theme. After a lot of testing, they decided to go with the fantasy theme. Overwatch was announced, right? We were shocked and not sure what direction to take. We were already so far ahead, like with the Paladins, but we didn't want to compete directly with Blizzard. So what did they do in order to try to not become as close as possible as Overwatch? Well, they decided to try different things, like, for example, different time to kills, different style maps, game modes, different themes, and so on. But the feedbacks always brought the same. They liked the other modes and game styles and time to kills that they were already existed there, like before even Overwatch was announced, right? The Overwatch was announced, but not released. It was announced at the same time that pretty much Harris already had sort of a base for the game, a core base, right? So what they said is, but we don't want to be accused of, of copying. Although I gotta be honest, you're kind of stupid if you think about that, because you already had like months and months and months of work. Copying a full game is not just get there and it's done, right? Like, so there's no logic. There's no logic to this. You saying, oh yeah, we're gonna try to make it as different as possible. What? So you're gonna throw away all the work you had just to not be close to Overwatch? It happens. There's going to be more games of the genre. All right, there's more games of Battle Royale. Nobody gives a shit. So that's what you have to focus. Now, I know that this is 2 years ago, but even so, this is my idea on what happened, all right? We created almost all the Paladins classes' abilities using Global Agenda, Smite as our template. All right? For example, there's even a god back on Smite that has like a tree, and the god is the guy who rides the tree. That tree is Grover. It's exactly the same thing. They literally just imported it. The game is from the same company, so that's not copying. They just decided to, sort of do a crossover. There's more than just that. For example, there's a skin for Fernando that back on Smite, the same god that it's related to that actually becomes Fernando with the skin, which is actually pretty cool, right? Then let's continue. We created almost all the Paladins. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, I read that. As a last point, it would be almost impossible for a studio of our size to clone Overwatch in a year, but Overwatch did have some features that we decided to incorporate into Paladins, like a kill cam, improved lag comp, some verbiage like eliminations. Just a little heads up, they saw what Overwatch had. The game sort of has the same genre, right? The game was the same thing almost, and they saw, oh yeah, but Overwatch did this different than us, that we thought it was good, so we're going to do it as well. But this doesn't mean that Overwatch invented this. The Overwatch did not invent the kill cam. They did not invent the sounds of like eliminations and so on, like double kill and so on. They did not invented that. All right. The only thing they said was the games were pretty similar, but then we noticed that they did this, and we thought, oh yeah, that would be a good idea for us as well. Now that I will consider copying, but Overwatch then invented it. All right. So that's it. Overwatch versus Paladins and Global Agenda game style, right? They're putting like a slide in the middle, like Paladins and Global Agenda, because as they mentioned before, most of the things that are in Paladins came from Global Agenda, and there's proof down there. I'll show it to you. Don't worry. While Overwatch is a fun game, we want people to understand that game development is this interactive process with many ideas coming from past projects. So what this means is, if you're a company who has already developed multiple games, you probably will get some features from older games, which is exactly what happened. This is true for Hi-Rez and almost every other game studio. For a hero shooter, the game that deserves the most credit for the genre is Team Fortress 2. So if you want to ever say that I'm playing a clone of something, please at least refer to Team Fortress 2 and not Overwatch. That's what really grinds my gears. That's what really fucks me up, because people don't know shit about this, and they don't even bother researching, okay? Overwatch has about 100 abilities. Paladins has over 85 so far, but do pay attention, these numbers are no longer accurate since this was 2 years ago, or 2019, right? So we have a lot more now because we released a lot more champions that Overwatch did release heroes. And not to mention, I believe that the heroes back on Overwatch, they don't always have the same amount of abilities. Some champions, some heroes have more abilities than the others. So it's not always that same number every time they release a hero, right? Most of the Paladins' abilities can be found in Global Agenda, a game we made 10 years ago. Same abilities from Tribes and Smite. So here, sort of like from the start, we can see where they got most of the inspiration for the abilities, right? And here is the funny part after. About 42 abilities are very similar between Overwatch and Paladins, right? 36 of these abilities were previously seen in Global Agenda and Tribes Ascend, and then imported into Paladins. And only 6 abilities were seen in Overwatch before even seen on Paladins. 6 abilities out of 100 or 85, and this is 2 years ago. 6. So if you can tell me that copying a game is the same thing as copying 6 abilities, then you are in a very bad track there. You have very low information of what you're talking about. Seriously. Almost every ability on Overwatch can be found in an earlier FPS game. Alright, so what they're saying is Overwatch did not invent these abilities. Given the popularity and marketing of Overwatch, many people don't even realize that some classes like Ruckus Mech were playable in Paladins before similar Overwatch class abilities were even shown. So what they're saying here, this is sort of like an attack, a little tap in the shoulder, like, you know what I mean? Basically, since Overwatch was a lot more popular than Paladins, because we're talking about a company like Blizzard. It's not the same thing as Hi-Rez. Like, people know Hi-Rez mostly because of Smite, to be quite honest. I gotta be honest. Like, I think that a lot of people know about Hi-Rez because of Smite. Now, a lot of people do know Realm Royale as well now recently because they had that 100,000 people playing it peak. But I think like people know it more for Hi-Rez than even the Heroic Leap, which is the developing team working on it. So as you can see here, like the company's not that big. They only get big. They only get to be known after maybe a little bit of fame they get here and there. So that's what basically happened. That's why people always tend to think, oh yeah, Paladins copied Overwatch. Why? Because they didn't know about Paladins back then, right? So, core mechanics first seen on Global Agenda versus Overwatch. First of all, multiple classes was seen in Global Agenda before Overwatch. Ultimates per class to build up. Before Overwatch, it was on Global Agenda. Combinations of shooters with unique class abilities. Again, game modes for payload, capture, KOTH. I don't know what that is, but as you see here, game modes as well. Class structures with tanks, support, defense, attack. Well, Global Agenda first. Skins and modes. Account class leveling. All in Global Agenda before Overwatch was even announced. Before it was even announced. So where I'm not trying to say like Overwatch copied Global Agenda. I mean, what I am saying is these things were already there as well in this game before even Overwatch came out. So if you want to try to accuse anyone of copying, I mean, you got to hear the perfect evidence that the same company who made Global Agenda decided to copy it for their game. So that's not copying. That's just, reutilizing things that they had before. But Overwatch using that same shit, that doesn't mean that you can say that they're inspiring, but that's much of a copying than what people say that Paladins copied Overwatch. Am I wrong here? And don't get me wrong, I love both games. I play both games. I literally just played for like 2 hours right now straight Overwatch, doing the arcade mode to get the loot boxes, okay? I love playing Overwatch, and I love playing Paladins. Sometimes I love playing Overwatch more than Paladins because Paladins is in a very poor state right now. But even so, let's continue. Reference links. In general, you can find almost every ability in current games somewhere in much older games. For example, hook and pull. I'm not, like, I can open this, but I'm not going to show you the entire video. What they're basically saying here... Hold up, let me take away the music, because YouTube is going to fucking copyright me. But here's a compilation of certain games that you can see the hook and pull, which is seen on both Roadhog and Makoa, before, so people don't start saying, oh, but that was on Roadhog, so it's copied. Oh, by the way, do you see this? This is Grover. This is on Smite. All right, I'm not saying there's no tree back on Overwatch, but even so, this is where they got an idea from a game of them. So you sort of here to see the idea. But there's more. There's like Batman references where they uses the hook and pull, Mortal Kombat. Here it goes with Batman. There's more other MOBA games as well, some fighting games. And there you go. So, like, what they're saying is the hook and pull was not invented by neither of these two companies, okay? Like, they already existed in a lot of different games. Now, let's go into some classes that were seen in Global Gen in 2010 before Overwatch was even announced. Like, for example, the female sniper with, by the way, purple tones, with a poison mine and a wall hack. Now, I'm going to show this, and people, like, haters are going to be like, oh, that's not the same! Yeah, that's the poison... That's the poison mine. It's just like, Widowmaker. Here you go. This is the wall hack. Doesn't work exactly the same, of course. That makes a lot of fucking sense, right? And there you go, the sniper. So, as you can see here, this is one of the examples. There's more of them, but I'm going to leave the link in the description so you guys can go and check it out. For example, the male tank with a shield and a hammer. By the way, on Paladins, we don't even have the hammer. We have a flamethrower, which is Fernando. He has the shield. The shield, of course, is a lot bigger on Overwatch and Paladins because we also have Fernando looking like Reinhardt. All right. Oh, by the way, you see that little plus that we just saw on the ground? That's actually an ability for Moji. That's how a talent, where if you pick that talent and you kill people, it will drop that little plus sign and it will heal you. So he has this Truster, which we have it on Drogo's. You can hit with the hammer. That's the shield. It's a little bit smaller, but, just good enough. And there you go. That's sort of like an idea. This is the engineer with a turret who actually legit puts a turret in the ground and has a little hitting hammer as well. All right, and has a shotgun. Now he's going to switch to a shotgun. Look at that. Even that, you can even claim that it's sort of like an idea to what Torbjorn, or whatever his name is, like that. Like he's switching between a small little hammer and a goddamn little shotgun, just like Torbjorn does that. Like I don't. I'm not even saying they're copying at this point, but they could have inspired them, and I wouldn't even care. All right, I wouldn't care if Blizzard would just come up and say, "Yeah, we inspired ourselves from a little bit of this, and this." That's it. Because maybe if they did that, maybe the fans would just like shut up for a second and say, "Okay, maybe I should just shut up and not talk about this again." Because it's not Blizzard's fault. It is the fans, those hardcore fans who go like, "Oh, we were here before." Shut up. Shut the fuck up. This is a male healer with a Have Heal ultimate and buffs gun with overtime. I'm guessing this is sort of like for Lucio? No? I don't know. The wave gun. Yeah, it should be that. I mean, there's multiple things here. There we go. Yeah, it's supposed to be for Lucio. Okay. I'm not going to show them all, but you have here is just an idea. Female damage dealer with a jetpack, hover, and rocket launcher. Male damage dealer with a grenade launcher and explosive key B grenades. Male damage dealer with huge damage melee sword. Female healer with beam heal, buff, beam, flight. Right? So here it is. These are the videos. You guys can go and check it out. Now, here are some of the pre-alpha test footage for Aurum, the game that was supposed to be Paladins but never actually made it out. This is a prototype for Fernando. This is the one that I was mentioning just in the beginning of the video. He has the charge. He has the shield. The shield doesn't open, but eventually they decided to change it. The character itself actually looks a little bit as Fernando, to be quite honest. There you go. It has the charge, but instead of a sword, they decided to go with a flamethrower. So it's actually pretty cool. Then they have the archer Cassie, which Cassie did have a longbow in the beginning. but they changed it up for a crossbow, as you can see here. She does have a dodge roll. She's gonna do it to those boxes at here. Yeah, there it goes. So you could actually claim boxes, which is actually pretty cool with the dodge roll. We have the dwarf, which was the inspiration for Barrick, with a little gun and a hammer. And there you go. They then decided just to input the turrets into it. Prototypes have taken the objective with Dark Elf. This is what became two different champions, both Maeve and Skye. I guess the visual more for Skye. As for the pounds, you just saw that dash is for the pounds for Maeve, right? Then we have the capture points thingy, and that would actually be a good mode to input into Paladins. A big map with 3 different points, and you would have to capture them. And as long as it would it be captured, the more points we could get. And takes the fights into different spots. That would actually be pretty cool. Doesn't matter. So here it is. Some other pictures to show you. This is the so-called Fernando. This is the Cassie. This was a teaser, sort of like for when the game were supposed to launch, like a picture they would put on the launcher. Opening chests in Paladins a lot before. Like, this is prior to chests on Overwatch, by the way, before loot boxes came out, and this was back in November 26th, 2015. This guy here, shout out to him if he ever sees this. He was opening 70 chests back on Paladins. These were the Radiant chests. Good old times, god damn it. But, yeah, and they don't even operate the same way. You can't even say that they operate the same way, because the chests on Paladins have a limited amount of items in there, and you can never ever get duplicates. You open them, and if you open them like the amount of items, like imagine there's 20 items, you open them 20 times, it's guaranteed you're going to get those 20 items for sure. The only thing that it's like RNG is the order on what you get. Some of them are paid in with real money, with crystals. Some of them are even paid with gold, or just by buying the battle pass and so on. You get them for free in the battle pass. So you have your sort of an idea. We even have the gift system, which is pretty much that, but you send them to other people to open. Which you go in Overwatch, and it's like one chest, one loot box that can give you random shit, like sprays, like avatars, like anything. You don't even know what you can or cannot get. And then you can even get duplicates, which are racing, which is fucked up. There's even a currency you get in there. Come on, not even that. We don't even get that on Paladins. You either get skins, abilities. I'm sorry, not abilities, modes, and so on, or that's it. Like, you don't get anything else. That when you have everything in the chest, it's locked. You can no longer open it. And if you have more chests, you can just wait until new things are added to the game. Mech with a minigun, Ruckus in Paladins. So this was when the game was released. For those that don't know, this was back on August 2015. So this is, I believe, on the closed alpha. The game was actually pre-alpha, yeah. So the game was like really, really on its early stage. I still like it the way that it looks. It looks pretty damn fine. It was Ruckus on his first state. Ruckus was one of the OG champions. You'll see there Pip, Grok over there, Fernando already with the flamethrower, Barrick putting a turret over there. There's a payload that used to be a cannon, because you had to destroy cannon. There we go. You had to destroy those gates in order to get in and win. It was different. He can even fly. There it goes. I know that there's an ability where you can actually literally just go like Diva. Literally like Diva. Up, down, left, wherever you want it to go. So it's like really, really... This is not like this anymore. They even created a talent where if you don't give the direction and just use the boosters, it will go up, which is actually pretty cool, but it's more directional now. And you can even mount to horses. In this case, he didn't have a horse. He would just do this, which is actually pretty cool. So you have here an idea of the things that I'm talking about, right? The video is 23 minutes long. Trust me, the first time I recorded this shit was like 30 minutes long, so it's actually better to have it like that, because I'm not even showing you every single thing here, but I can assure you that if you come here into this Reddit post and read about it and see the videos, you're going to see what I'm talking about, okay? So that's pretty much it for the video. I hope that people who play Overwatch don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to flame you. I'm not trying to flame Overwatch. What I'm trying to make it understand, right? What I'm trying to get people to understand is this. When you come to defend a game without having the knowledge to it, then don't do it. You're going to make yourselves look like assholes, like idiots. Legit. All right? This information, I didn't made it up. This shit has 2 years old. All right? I'm not the first person to talk about this. We have Yoshino talking about it, for example. Paladins versus Overwatch, you know? There's a lot of these things, and you can check them out. A lot of these people go get these things, these information. So that's pretty much it, all right? Go check it out. I'll see you guys next time, and until then, have a wonderful time. Just don't raise any fights, okay? Bye-bye.